Okay, folks, just got on the freeway, so, again, I'm not going to be, keep telling myself I'm not going to be looking at the camera or phone, whatever, because, I know it's on, I know it's recording, make sure of that, so, there you go, I can do it again, but anyways, we should get there maybe around 6:55. I already pressed a building entry, so I'll just, be able to just stroll and get my stuff set up and get going without having to wait. Trying to make it happen to do that before I leave my house. Like, I try to do that right when I wake up. Did have a bit of a difficult time. I don't know. I don't know if I really had a difficult time getting to sleep, getting up per se. It's mostly because I sort of pushed myself to stay up a bit. I didn't take any caffeine in before I went to study. I just, I got home and I got all but one of the problems done, and I got a decent amount of work done compared to I wanted to get everything done, but sort of like personal record-wise, I think I did pretty well. The last problem that I have to do, it does have like a sort of associated example problem that I found in the text. That's pretty much the same thing as it. So I think the only difference is that the shape of the object you're trying to do calculations about, that is different, but that's just like geometry. The basic principles are the same, so should be able to use that to get that done. I get that done, pretty quick after I get home. And I can just review lecture slides and take some notes and that sort of stuff, because I will need to basically be cognizant of a bunch of stuff for tomorrow. I'll have to make sure that I'm all set up, ready to go at 3 p.m. And in fact, I might have to, just sort of like message my supervisor and be like, hey, I need to I really need to be out at 3 seconds. It's not like a case of I can be late to class. You gotta be there at that time, because first 25 minutes are the quiz, and I don't know how many problems you're gonna have on there, what they're gonna look like, that sort of deal. Probably similar to the homework, I would assume. But so have that to take care of tomorrow. I got take care of things today to be prepared for that. But other than that, today is the day of the interview. Like I said, it's like yesterday I said, it's a good thing that they schedule it at 4, because then it's like half an hour after I get done with work, ideally. So I'll have a little bit of time to get set up. I don't really have like a suit. I would have to be changing into one in the parking lot, which would be kind of awkward. But I think mostly what they're more concerned about is not just appearance, but they're gonna be concerned about my aims, what my interests are, and let me see, my skill set. So if I have what it takes to basically be supporting research, and if I understand the processes enough that something does go down on the manufacturing floor, or the research lab, basically, because I'll be running the experiment basically, and if something does go down, do I know how to troubleshoot the issue, that sort of deal. So yeah, and I remember with my last company, even the research folks, a lot of times they were either on the manufacturing floor, because they had to use some of the machines to do some of the experiments, because it was it's sort of experiments tied directly to manufacturing, or they had to have some of those manufacturing folks run the processes to make their research samples. So or something I could probably bring up during the interview that, hey, like I was already kind of supporting research to a certain extent. So yeah, got that to look forward to. To a certain extent, I do have some anxieties, but I think the most effective way for me to mitigate those is essentially just to not really focus on, okay, how much do I want this in a position or not. Obviously, my baseline in life right now, as far as like jobs are concerned, is to essentially just hold down the current position that I have, and I just turned the air down a bit, maybe better, easier to hear me if you haven't been able to hear me already. But anyways, baseline is to hold down the job that I currently have, and obviously, like, take care of my class, any classes I'm taking, because a master's degree, like, I've said before, is one of the main keys to getting to that next level, and increasing my income, but also increasing my sort of like survivability in terms of, like, surviving in industry. But those are like my two like baseline metrics, if you will, for that. And like beyond that, obviously I want to be satisfied or like fulfilled at work. But there's various ways of that happening. Like, could it be, okay, I'm making the kind of money I'm making, or is it purposeful work, or am I really able to do things that are like at that next level, which a research associate would be, and it would definitely like at the very least get me exposed to the research side of things. As the name would imply, and being able to build those relationships with like the scientists and the process engineers and that sort of thing, it carries a bit more prestige, to put it lightly, than a manufacturing associate. So it's something that I would want, but in order to like sort of not be, I guess you could say, like overly anxious, I have to sort of avoid lust of result, I guess is the thing, people will talk about scarcity mentalities and stuff of that nature, or scarcity mentality versus abundance mentality, and it's not really about that right now for me. I just have to sort of like not be overly desirous of this position, and not be placing too much weight on getting it, because it really depends upon like how the interview goes and what they're really looking for, what they emphasize. Like, okay, like are they going to emphasize number of years of experience, or breadth of experience, or like theoretical knowledge. Like, what are they really concerned with? Because like, for instance, I would think that if you're going for research associate, they do want you to have some understanding, obviously, but they'll be more concerned with you actually being able to sort of carry out the process itself without having to have your hand held, so to speak. Like, if they give you the SOP, standard operating procedure, or the work instruction, and you read it through, you can sort of just follow along, and you make sure that, okay, this is the temperature that this thermocycler is set at. Here's the reagents, and you mix them in thus and such proportions, or you make sure that you have, like what they call a Q tray with the right antibiotic on it, etc., etc. Like, okay, I don't gotta like stand there with you. You can just go and set it up for me, and I've already designed the experiment. I've already made all this stuff, all these decisions, and you just kind of carry it out. Like, I think they would be more interested in that. Whereas if you're interviewing for a scientist position or a process engineer, they're going to be like, okay, Obviously, you're most likely the master's degree or PhD level. So, explain to me the intricacies of, polymers, chain reaction. In particular with regards to its application in DNA manufacturing or something like that. And then you'll have to go and explain how all that works, or how next generation sequencing works, and stuff of that nature. Like, I would think that they would probably place more emphasis on that if you're going for a position that required you to have a master's or a PhD. Sorry, I had this truck kind of speeding at me, and then these people change lanes, and then they slam on the brakes. So I got to slam on the brakes, and you got this truck come up behind you, and you're just like looking back every so often, thinking like, this guy gonna hit me? But it didn't happen, so I don't know. I can't really bet on other people having airtight reaction ability, so I gotta be cognizant of everything that's going on around me. But anyways, I think I'm about halfway to work, or thereabouts. But what else? Oh, I think the other thing I wanted to talk about was, see, I've been puzzling over the weight loss, deal. I think, not only because I was as strict as I was about my diet last time around, when I was actually, effective, if you will, but because of other factors like timing and the fact that we really didn't have catered food at the other place. I didn't really have to think about, okay, what are these little, itsy-bitsy factors that are creating all these, big changes as far as, or big effects as far as, dieting and weight loss and so on are concerned. And I was kind of reading up on, low-carb diets and that sort of thing, which is basically what I've had the most, effect on, or effectiveness with when I be dieting, try to, get my weight down, not just within BMI levels, but, more so towards, let's say, ideal weight, to the point where it's a classic, you want a six-pack, and you don't want to have to really worry too much about dieting all that much, at kind of that level. And I think the big idea really is insulin spikes. And, that's why, they'll have you cut out things like rice and bread and pasta and, simple sugars especially. And I've been kind of getting sort of hit with the sugars. Because I can cut out the rice and the bread and the pasta real easy, but, a lot of times, and you don't know, if the food's being, made for you, okay, is there a lot of sugar in this sauce? You can taste it, but at that point, you're already spiking your insulin. So there's that, and there's obviously the fact that when I have coffee in the morning, I got a bit of a sweet tooth, so maybe I've inherited that, not sure, but got a bit of a sweet tooth, so obviously I like my coffee with sugar and cream, like the BC Boys would say. And obviously they're probably meaning something else, being a little more poetic about it. But I'll have my coffee with that creamer, like coffee with creamer, and unless I'm using the sugar-free version, which I have to go over to Walmart to get that, which means that logistics-wise, it's okay, if I'm gonna do that, I have to go on a Saturday or a Sunday when I have the time and the energy, trying to do that during the weekdays when I'm thinking I got 2 or 3 hours tops, I gotta be doing all sort of things, yada yada. I don't really get the opportunity to go over to Walmart and pick that sort of stuff up, and obviously it has to be at a time where I've just gotten paid, so then I have to have basically the logistics figured out, which obviously it's not that complicated. Okay, it's okay, write down a list, check. Get in your car and check, and then 2, drive over to Walmart, check. 3, go to, dairy section, check and, buy grab the creamer and take it to the, checkout line and then, buy it. Okay, you checked everything off. Now you've got, your sugar-free coffee creamer. But that's something that I'll have to sort of work into my weekly schedule or, bi-weekly schedule, because I get paid every 2 weeks. That's one main factor, because I know, I can even be making sure I have my lunch bought before I go to bed, so I can just have it sitting there and make sure I take it with me. But if I'm already spiking my insulin, so just my insulin levels, by pouring on that sweet coffee creamer with sugar in the morning, which you look at the nutritional information and it sort of kind of doesn't seem like a lot. You think, 5 grams, it's not a big deal. And then of course if you've done any sort of chemistry work and you have had to work with one of the scales with the weighing boat and you look at how big a gram of any sort of crystalline powdered substances, even if it's sodium dibasic or sodium dibasic monophosphate or whatever, anything it has a similar structure to sugar, and you see how much a gram is, and you look, take that times it by 5, or 10 or 20 or 30, and it's oh wow, that's how much sugar is in this sort of stuff. You think about a lot of these sugary sodas, those drinks that people, a lot of times you will consume, consume 4, 5, 6 cans at a pop, and it's whether you call it pop or you call it soda, but you consume a bunch of those, and you look at either the bottle or the can itself or the box, and it's this has 43 grams of sugar, and it's so times that by 5 or 6, and then you imagine how if you were just to have that all compiled together on on a weighing boat, a huge weighing boat, in its solid form, that's how much sugar you're consuming. And you think about just how it affects your insulin spikes and therefore your appetite, and furthermore down the line, how much you're eating. And then you talk about having not a calorie deficit, but what would be, basically you're consuming too many calories beyond your total daily energy expenditure, and basically add those up for, let's say, a week, divide that by how much calories are in a pound of fat. I mean, then it's kind of oh, no wonder I'm putting on so much weight. No wonder, even though I'm eating my vegetables and all this other stuff, I'm not really getting any sorts of effects. So it's one of those situations, and I'll have to I've had this sort of point that I've reiterated a lot, how I have to run everything like a well-oiled, well-maintained, well-calibrated, tightened up machine. And you see, right now it is a bit difficult right now. It's not I have a gun held to my head or something like that. Not that difficult, but it's I'm working on multiple aspects of my life right now, and and this is a bit of rationalization to a certain extent. It's kind of with regards to Nofap, it's kind of rationalizing away edging or so, or rationalizing away not doing your daily habits that you have in place, to sort of avoid, slipping back into that habit and relapsing or so, or anything else, not just Nofap. And I know I didn't put up, at the beginning of the video, here's what day it is. It is, let me see, it's Tuesday the 23rd of February, which I think that makes it day 128. I'll have to check again. See, I'm not even really thinking about that right now. I'll have to check when I upload the video. okay, what day it is, but and maybe that's a good sign, that I'm not really thinking about days, because I'm not really thinking about Nofap, I'm just living it. But anyways, that whole diet and weight loss thing it's really been on my mind. And maybe I made the dumb decision of sort of letting people know at work that, I'm on a diet, and it's kind of like, they're probably observing, whether or not I'm really on the diet or they're not getting results. And truth be told, like, it almost seems like I've kind of fluctuated because of these other factors that I really wasn't considering. And it's kind of annoying that there's all these other factors there, like I literally have to like watch what kind of sauce is on the food or so, because I guess I think it was on Reddit, it was on the 4-Hour Body subreddit, and they were talking about how, like, if you do spike your insulin, so to speak, by taking in any sugar, like somewhere between 24 and 48 hours passes before it's kind of like your body could like switch back into, I guess, ketosis, where it's like it's basically like consuming ketones from the fat. So basically it's like, it's no longer like in fat burning mode, it's back to sugar. And the key thing, I guess, not only by inducing a calorie deficit, but also getting your body to burn different things for fuel sources, that getting it to burn fat as opposed to sugar, or whether you're talking about directly burning glucose, burning glycogen, or converting glycogen to glucose and then breaking that down, or talking about it burning like simple sugars like sucrose or fructose. So I think it's probably the biggest factor, the sort of thing that I have been considering. Obviously there's stuff like, okay, like when are you eating and how much you're eating and stuff of that nature, because I know, like, back when I got a lot of those results, I lost like 15 pounds in like a month, and a lot of it just my scheduling that kind of contributed to me being able to do this. But I would oftentimes I'd end up eating like right after, or nearly right after, after I'd gotten up. I'd go grab some food and eat that and then head to work. But it's kind of difficult to do that right now as far as getting a low carb meal this early in the morning, even if I was able to get up that early. So anyways, I am about to roll into the parking lot, somewhere to turn, and then I turn into the parking lot. So it looks like I actually got here a few minutes earlier than I thought. I said 6:55 just to be safe. But I had everything set up last night. I went to sleep. It took me like an hour or two to actually get to sleep. Maybe if I could have gone to sleep a bit earlier, I would have. But I had to shower and do some other stuff just to get everything settled before I went to bed. So took a little bit extra, but right now I'll get through the day, get to the interview. I would hope that it would go well. At the very least, I want to learn, like, okay, what is it that they're emphasizing for the position itself, and on top of that, get to payday so I can make those next payments. I really want to see my balance go down on one loan in particular. It's a private student loan that my uncle signed on to, so I really want to get that taken care of. It would definitely put me at that much more at ease. Assuming I got it paid off. That would leave 2 student loan accounts and then my car loan. So if I could get that taken care of, that'd be great. But anyways, it's kind of rambling on at this point, so I'm going to check to see that, yep, I have parked properly. and I can now turn off my car, stop recording, and I can go into work. So anyways, folks, I'll see you around. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Keep at that grind. Keep going. Hopefully we all succeed at, better aims each day. So anyways, I will see you around, and bye.